Hi guys, right-wing media is determined to paint as negative image as possible of asylum seekers and immigrants in order to keep the public as angry as possible. So GB News, it seems, hired or collaborated with an ex-Royal Marine to go undercover at the camps in Calais to do some investigation. Now, I'm not sure why they decided on an ex-soldier as opposed to an actual journalist. But then GB News is not interested in journalism, I guess. Anyway, did Lee here tick all the boxes necessary to make sure the demonization of asylum seekers continues? Well, have a listen.
Can I just ask, when you were in those camps that we were seeing before, I'm quite intrigued to know, were there loads of women and children as well, or was it mostly men, do you think?
99.8% male, fighting age males. And we saw maybe one or two women the whole time. What their purpose was there, we don't know. We didn't get to talk to them. But there was predominantly male,
And just to emphasise again, some of the stories that were coming out there, you said that some of them were getting schooled by some of these refugee groups, etc. When you were talking to them, what was their main motivation for wanting to come to Britain? Because they are in France, it's a safe country.
There are multiple reasons. Sometimes it was they have family members here. And again, through chatting to them man to man, the stories start to come out. We didn't ask them direct questions. I learned that in the Marines, and they always create a conversation and the answers will come out. And not just to the family members because they wanted to be with their sister, but the family members have got contacts in the UK for work, whatever that might be. And of course, helping them settle there and all the rest of the stuff. So a lot of it was that they already had contacts here. And of course, then they'd been briefed by these NGOs that this is what you're entitled to. This is what you can get. The British government will give you this. It will allow you to have all these extra benefits. So a lot of it was materialistic reasons why they wanted to come to England. Because like you said, France, it's a modern country. It's one of the leading powers in Europe. Yeah. And they'll be very well looked after.
Okay. Once again, I'm trying to get my head around why they sent an ex-Marine as opposed to a journalist. It's not a war zone. Like you even say yourself, France is a safe country. So why you would send an ex-soldier to do the job of a journalist, really don't understand that. Now, I just want to respond to some of the things he mentioned here. 99% are males, or 99.8%. He said there were very few females at the camps. Fighting age young men. Fighting age, that's a term we keep hearing a lot. Look, fleeing war is not a requirement to claim asylum. So why do we keep hearing from the right wing about military age young men, fighting age young men? And we know that most of the asylum seekers are young men because they're dangerous crossings. It's very dangerous. Are you going to put, in some cases it happens, are you going to put women and children into boats, or is it more likely that it'll be young men who are in a better state, perhaps, to defend themselves in a difficult situation? Because it's a dangerous situation, not just crossing the channel, but getting to France can also be a dangerous situation. And it's more likely that young men go first to check if it's safe, and then they call for the others later. Now, he also mentioned family members are in the UK, and that's true. This is one of the pull factors. If there are family members in the UK, people are going to try and get there to be with their families, or if they speak English, they're going to go to the UK and not stay in France. He also mentioned about how NGOs are telling people about their entitlements, what they can claim. But what do you want NGOs to say? If somebody asks a question, do you want them to lie? Do you want them to ignore the question, withhold information? Like, there are certain things people are entitled to, and there are certain things they're not entitled to. So I presume you don't have a problem with them being honest about that. Would you prefer NGOs to be dishonest with the asylum seekers and say, oh, well, you can claim a car and you can have a villa and you can have, servants and stuff like this? There's a lot of misinformation on the internet. So you would be hoping that the NGOs would be honest with the people. What would be the advantage, I should say, of them being dishonest? They're already in France. They want to get to Britain. Might as well just be honest with them and say, this is what you can claim and this is what you can't claim. And finally, we keep coming back to, well, France is a safe country. But you have already pointed out they don't want to stay in France. They want to be in Britain because they have connections there. In some cases, they want to work. Their only way to get to Britain is by crossing the Channel. You know, if you create safe routes, people can come in. They can claim asylum. If their claim is rejected, then they should be deported. And most reasonable people agree with that. But people will use these routes, claim asylum, in order to get a job, to work in the economy, because there are jobs available. That's the reality. We can't avoid that. But to suggest that people should just stay in France who don't want to stay in France makes no sense. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.